You're right, everyone. So I wanted to do a video on the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game, and why it's actually fantastic, and also why it shouldn't be compared really to Dead by Daylight. So let's get started.
First up, before I start talking about the actual game, I know it's been compared a lot to Dead by Daylight, and also a bit to Friday the 13th, but we don't like to talk about that. What I wanted to say isn't really anything like them, which I'll explain more later in the video, though I will compare it to them at some points. So I'll start with the victims. Similar to Dead by Daylight, there's 4 of them, and your main goal is just to escape. Of course, so in this there's 3 killers rather than just the one. Another difference is actually how you escape. Unlike Dead by Daylight, there are 4 ways of escaping, being the steam valves, the car battery, the generator, and the fuse box. These can all be done completely on your own without the need of anyone else, which makes it a lot easier and a lot quicker to escape than like Dead by Daylight, for example. This is of course balanced by allowing the killers just to kill you outright once they've reduced your health to 0, no need for hooking you or anything. This constant risk of just a really quick death makes it far scarier playing as Survivor than in Dead by Daylight, and makes the horror aspects more important, I suppose. It's also a lot harder to outrun the killers as Survivor. This combined really makes you value being stealthy a lot more than in Dead by Daylight. Whilst in Dead by Daylight, because you had to be hooked to die, and you could easily outrun the killers, really, for quite a long time, you didn't really have to be stealthy, and most players, especially as you got better, didn't, and some even actively wanted to get seen so they could get chased. This isn't the case in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Stealth is vital, because if you get seen, there's not a small chance that you're just going to die, just going to get killed and then not be able to play the rest of the game. Though despite these benefits, to be honest, I'm not an awful fan of the Survivor. I much prefer the Killer. Now, being a killer is fantastic. I've already mentioned about the quick kills, but being able to just play with your friends as killers to try and kill the survivors and work together, it's just great. As killer, as well as stopping the survivor escaping and, killing them, one thing that's very unique is Grandpa. Now what Grandpa does is, when you feed him blood, which you can collect from buckets lying about or from hitting the survivors, he screams, and any survivors that are moving get the locations revealed. After giving him enough blood to get to the highest tier, then even if they're not moving, the locations are revealed, which is really good if there's like one survivor left and they're just hiding. There are also unique team perks that get unlocked as you tier up Grandpa. Speaking of perks, each survivor and killer has their own skill tree where you can get them, which is quite good, though I will say it's not as expansive as Dead by Daylight. The killers also have unique abilities which, whilst not as interesting as like Dead by Daylight's ones, they're still pretty enjoyable. The maps are all well designed, but there isn't very many of them, though they have been adding some, and they've also, since it came out, added a new survivor and a new killer. Unfortunately, there isn't much variation between the games you play, they're all quite similar, though I have found that they don't really need to be. It's really quite enjoyable anyway. The main problem that people have though is the lack of content, which is fair, considering the cost. Whilst I do recommend it, I would probably wait till it's on sale. If you play on Xbox, however, you're in luck, because at least at the time of recording, it's free on Game Pass. So, overall, the game's really enjoyable. Whether you play it solo or with friends, it's really good. Of course it's better with friends though, especially in the killer mode. Being able to hunt survivors with your teammates is just incredible. Not to mention how good the graphics are, and how it's just fun, really, just to be hunting down survivors. It's like scratching an itch that Dead by Daylight failed to, because Dead by Daylight can get very annoying, chasing survivors all over the map, only to get one hit in. and maybe not even killing any of them. It's definitely become one of my favourites now, and I would highly, highly recommend getting it and playing it, especially if you have friends to play it with, because it's even better with them. However, that'd be if it's on sale or free. If it costs as much as it does currently, maybe give it a bit of thought. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.